Hello again, YouTube. Back again for another video in the series of Shaz plays the new Niji solos on every single account. Now we're on Kenning's one. Turn it up. To S rank, a whopping 10.287 million voltage. Yikes! On the plus side, however, if you are able to clear every single appeal chance, you're getting 2.8 million voltage off the top. So that means that your raw voltage total that you're going to need to beat the song is roughly 7.4 million. Which is still not too bad. It's actually in line with the other songs we've played thus far. Overall song gimmick. Non-third year cards lose 20% appeal. Is it cleansable? No. The no gimmick. We have 3 of them. First one. If hit, active type cards, or active attribute cards gain a 10% skill activation rate up for 10 notes. This happens 3 times. Second note gimmick. If hit, active attribute cards gain a 10% appeal buff for the next 20 notes. This also happens 3 times, as we can see right here. The third note gimmick. If hit, active attribute cards gain 20% crit power for the next 20 notes. This happens twice. Now we have a total of 7 appeal chances in the song. The first one requires 4 tap skill activations. The second requires 10 crit taps. This one gives third years a 50% crit chance rate up. Third AC, 61k voltage from your gauge, which should not be too difficult. SK type cards gain 20% base appeal. Fourth appeal chance gets 16 crits. During this AC, third years gain a 50% crit chance rate up. 62% of your notes need to crit. So between ACs 2 and 4, this is telling me I need to really, really heavily build towards third years. AC number 5. Activate 7 tap skills. During this AC, guard type cards gain 20% skill activation rate up, 17 nodes, so 42% of my taps need to activate. 6th appeal chance, get 12 crits. Again, third years get a 50% crit chance rate up. And then the last appeal chance is just a flat 224k voltage with SK type cards getting a 20% base appeal increase. Now, not surprisingly, right, we have Turn It Up, an active attribute song. And not only is it an active attribute song, but it's an active attribute song buffing third years. I wonder what people will be running to pass this song. Well, let's be fair. We all know at least 2 of the cards that are going to be run if you have them. The first one, very, very obvious. First Fest Kanon. The second card, Second Fest Ellie. Now, the third card, the third card here is a little dicey, right? The third card here, if we're wanting to stay on theme with active attribute third years, there actually isn't a lot of options for active attribute third years. If you have Move Farm Days Karen, that's an option. Now, you could use something like Sparkling Night Parade Kanata. I would advise against it. What I would normally recommend, though, is even though it's a 20% appeal debuff for non-third years, if you happen to have the ever so popular duo of Kanan Setsuna, just use them. Just use them. Some of you may have also seen another option here would be a Train Nico. Train Nico would actually help a decent amount, especially because her crit rate is really high. And for these purposes today, for this particular run, I actually am gonna go all third years. But what I'm gonna do is, because this Ellie doesn't have any limit breaks on her, she also doesn't have any insights on her. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to what I call Old Reliable. And Old Reliable is First Fest Mari. Now, yes, I am going to lose out, you know, on the appeal match and the, and a lot of the, note gimmicks and things like that. But in all honesty, it's fine. Not having, you know, the appeal match or whatever is okay in this instance. For my backline, because the fifth appeal chance is a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. It's not exceedingly scary, but it is still a little bit scary. What I am gonna do is we're gonna put in 3 good scoring guard cards, and I'm gonna only throw in Yo here because, well, Initial Yo has done pretty good work for me. Nah, I think we'll keep in the second choker. Yep. I think I am happy with this. So we are actually going to go into the song with this. Now, normally, if you're running like a double SK frontline like I am right now, because of the voltage penalties for having 2 SK types in your formation, I would normally, if these cards weren't all maxed out, I would actually throw in the second brooch and probably even consider throwing in all brooches. But because these cards are all maxed out, I'm fine with running 2 chokers and a brooch. I'm still going to be able to score just fine. And in my chat, AnimeHolic says, wow, how has Shaz not maxed Second Fest Ellie? This is news to me. Because Second Fest Ellie, you know, for this account in particular, I'm not using Radiance for Second Fest Ellie, even though that is an Oshi for me. I would much rather use my Radiance on meta cards and stuff. Okay, we missed the first appeal chance, which is not good. It's not good. It's not ideal. And then we're gonna have to hold this gauge for the third appeal chance, because the third appeal chance is a gauge. So we are gonna try and see if we can recover some of the scoring via our gauge usage. There we go. And it does feel like a waste to having to build a specific side strategy for skill ACs and stuff like that, but you have to remember I would much rather be a little bit safer and take that route of building a separate strategy just for the skill ACs um in your first initial go throughs, um as opposed to, just trying to run through the song, um single stratting it, and just saying, okay, if I pass the skill AC, I'll pass it, and if I don't, whatever. you know the the stamina damage may be enough to doom the rest of your run. So, do be very mindful of it, especially if your cards, especially if you don't have, a max First Fest Kanan, a max First Fest Mari, and a max Train Nico, right? A lot of, if you have lower limit breaks on your cards, it's going to be more imperative that you build towards some of these ACs to make sure that you're able to get yourself through the entire rest of the song. And if you have to, score through your gauge, so be it. But yeah, even First Fest Kanan, Train Nico, and First Fest Mari couldn't even pass the first skill AC. So, depending on where your cards are, that might be an appeal chance that, if you fail it, you might just have to deal with it. So, okay. Now, we'll actually go to the alt account and we'll try it with Kanan, Setsuna, and Ellie. And let's see how that works out. Alrighty, here we are with Turn It Up, Karen solo on the alt account. Now, I have made a couple changes for this particular song. Even though there isn't a skill activation debuff, there are still tap skill activation requirements. And so even though we are running 2 third years in our main strategy in Kanan and Ellie, if we need a little bit extra, we can easily move over to our blue strat, which I have put in Train Nico, which is a pretty obvious choice. And I just went with a okay, but I know it has good insight cards on her in Miracle Voyage Shizuku. And having 2 SK types, if I do need to, switch in and switch out, it'll be okay. Shizuku's live show active also means that if I do have to switch here, I'm losing, it's a 5% appeal buff for the same strategy. So if I do ever have to switch over to this blue strategy, I'll be losing a little less appeal than normal. Accessories are basically the same as Aesa, where we're running Choker, Brooch. Our green strategy, our high appeal strategy, is running 3 bracelets, and then we're running a belt and 2 max limit break necklaces on the blue strategy. Now again, for this particular song, I'm using a Fest Kanan guest. And we were just discussing it in the chat. Even though this is a 10.2 million voltage to S rank the song requirement, if you happen to have First Fest Kanan, this song is actually a lot easier to score on than you would think. Right, 10.2 million voltage to S rank, but if you're able to pass all the ACs, it gives you 2.8 million, so 7.4 million voltage, raw voltage requirement. It's actually not too bad. And if you happen to have First Fest Kanan, even if you don't have Setsuna or Ellie, it's actually still... Oh, whoops. Switched the wrong strategy. As you can see, we've already cleared the song, and while yes, having Kanan, Setsuna, and Ellie all being on attribute makes the song a heck of a lot easier, if let's say you had taken out Setsuna, you should still be able to pass it. Um, the biggest card here is by far and away First Fest Kanan. If you have that particular card with 4 medium strategy insights on her, it'll make this song a heck of a lot easier to clear. Um, if you don't have First Fest Kanan yet, and your active attribute card pool or your third year card pool is not that great, again, feel free to pass on the song until you get better cards. The song isn't going anywhere. Those 10 gems aren't going anywhere. Yeah, that's going to be it for the alt account. Now, we're going to do the same thing on the JP account. And here we are on our JP account, playing Turn It Up. Now, this is probably going to be the easiest song out of everything because, as you can see, much like the alt account, we have this account basically set up where we've thrown all of our radiance into 4 cards, basically. First Fest Kanan being one of them, First Fest Setsuna being another, Second Fest Ellie, and Second Fest Rico. So it makes this particular song a lot easier. You know, even with the tap skill ACs and the crit chances and all that kind of stuff, you know, being able to have a strategy where you have 2 third years in here makes the song a lot easier. And we're gonna basically stay with the same frontline that we had just built for Aesa, where we're running full active attribute, and we don't really need to worry anything about the gimmicks. We're just going to appeal buff like crazy. Now, this is the one song I think out of all the 4th Niji solos where I don't need this brooch, and we can go kind of full out on, you know, the 3 choker strategy, so we can score 61k per tap. It shouldn't be too difficult for this particular strategy to score 61k per tap. The biggest kind of bump in the road will be the appeal chances, and especially the tap skill ones. You know, I will have to get really lucky, especially the first AC. First AC, basically, if the way the song is constructed, if you don't have a high stamina pool and you happen to miss that first appeal chance, 16k damage coming off of this first appeal chance, and you're only at note like 24, 25 is a lot to have to deal with. Luckily, we were able to clear it there, even though I switched to the correct strategy late. There we go, and then we have a gauge AC coming up right here in the blue. Bingo. Simple enough. Now we just gotta wait for this upcoming AC with 16 crits. If you fail this AC, it's 33k damage. Luckily, you know, if you are running Fest Ellie, one of the upsides is that, you know, if she gets on a roll early, as you can see here, you know, I only have, you know, 60 some odd k total stamina, but she's able to basically fill up this entire gauge with nothing but shield. So even if I was to have failed that other appeal chance, it would only cut down about half of my shield. So it makes things really nice. Right, even auto playing, you know, I'm tapping Grace for 61k on basically every card, you know, because we're taking advantage of attribute match bonus. And, you know, like I've said with the other two accounts, this is probably the easiest one. You know, if you're a free to play player and if you tend to be more on the let me just power up the strongest cards possible versus, Oshi card buffing and stuff like that, then this song is probably going to be the easiest because we've had so many cards, so many really good cards appeal wise come in the active attribute that it should make it should make this particular song a heck of a lot easier. Anyway, that's going to be it for Turn It Up. Thank you everybody for watching. Take it easy, be nice to each other, and I'll see you all next time.